Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu provides us with probably the best form of cardiovascular training, the most enjoyable form of cardiovascular training, and an absolute catalyst for burning calories, right? But there's loads of grapplers on the mats that are either too skinny, they look at themselves in the mirror and they are literally looking fragile and bony, and they want to build more muscle and have more armour, more grappling armour. And on the other side of the scale, you've got blokes that are they've just got a lot of unnecessary fat that they can't really shift. This video, I'm going to take you through principles for grapplers to get to their ideal weight as easily and as quickly as possible. I'm going to deliver this video. I'm going to talk about 3 things in this order. We're going to talk about mindset and character. We're going to talk about what not to do, and then we're going to talk about the actionables. It's very important that we take a moment to think about the mindset, because I can give you the plan, I can give you the meal plan, I can give you the training plan. However, when things don't go your way, it's important that you have the mindset of why. The mindset is the most important thing to get right, because once that's right, everything else, the tactics, are absolutely easy. Mindset number 1, having a solid foundation that you have full control over. This may seem very simple as I'm presenting this to you on YouTube. However, in reality, busy family life, things start to pull you in different directions. Now, if you do not have full control over what goes into your mouth, then I question your masculinity as a man. Now, I understand that can be harsh sometimes. You sit down and have a meal with the family once per day. That's absolutely fine. Control the controllables then. Everything else, make sure you have full control over it. So control as much as you can and have full ownership over what goes into your body. Because if you don't, you are constantly victim to what is coming in. Whether it's your missus making food or whether it's your missus deciding on what takeaway to have. You're never going to get the results that you want if you are constantly victim of somebody else's choices, right? Again, like I said, it sounds simple me saying this, but in reality, it's actually a tricky thing to do. Socially, in reality, it's not actually a hard thing to do. Just eat what you want, not what somebody else wants you to eat. Sounds simple, but it can be a tricky one, right? And in the moments of when you're getting tested with this, it's important that, yes, you give in a little bit and play ball with this type of stuff, but it's also important that for the most part you are eating what you want to eat, because everyone will test you. Everyone will test you, your friends, your family, kids, everybody. Mindset number 2, right, is don't rush the process because it feels easy. If you have the foundation set up really well, most of it will feel easy. And this will become a real surprise to you. You'll be like, this is supposed to be hard. No, it's not supposed to be hard. If you've got things set up properly, it should be easy. And this makes people make some mistakes early on. They're like, oh, it feels too easy, I'm going to make it hard for myself so I get faster results, and so I actually struggle a little bit because I want to struggle a little bit. I want to test myself. No, this should be as easy as possible so that it's easier to stick to for a long enough period that you get ridiculous results. Do you know what I mean? So try and put feelings to one side and try and just focus on the data that comes in, your scale weight and your pitches. Talk about that in a bit. Character. You've got to be able to ask yourself, before you even start on these endeavours, what would the man I want to become eat every single day? Like, what would the man I want to become feel like every single day? How would the man I want to become handle daily challenges that come up, that aim to take him off this goal, this mission? You have to ask yourself these questions, because, again, most of the problems that you come into, it's not because of the meal plan wasn't good enough. It's not because, you got injured. It's none of that. It's because your character crumbled. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Paul Green and I coach grapplers that want to strengthen their joints and build resilient joints on my program. And one thing that we do on our program is that we literally do all of this stuff, get blokes shredded, get blokes to their ideal weight, even when they're injured, even when a lot of excuses are stacked against them. We turn it all around. And if all of these blokes can turn these things around while getting in the best shape of their lives when they look in the mirror, then what is your excuse? Do you know what I mean? That's called the longevity program. The link's in the description if you want to jump on a call with me to discuss whether you're eligible and whether we can help you out. Hey, what the hell? Right, actionables. What not to do, right? Because I'm trying to set you up for things that you might have done in the past that are the reasons why you fall flat on your face. So the first one, and this is the most common one, remove all your levers too early, right? Most people go on these missions and it's coming up to January and they go, right, I need to lose weight. So they will reduce their calories lots. If you reduce your calories lots, they're going to reduce their performance, their ability to manage stress, their ability to sleep effectively. They're going to reduce performance. But also, that's one lever. Also, they will add more cardio, add more steps, add more weight training, add more jiu-jitsu. So they basically just went, you know what, I'm going to do loads and I'm going to eat less. The real problem with this is you've basically reduced any sort of change that you can't make any changes at that point because you've started from the baseline and you've got too much cardio, you've got too much output, too little input. There's a massive off balance of levers that you can pull, and it's an absolute mess, right? Because of that, you're fucked. 2-3 weeks in, you're going to be fucked because you're doing too much. You can't add any more cardio and you can't reduce the food anymore. You're going to be absolutely fucked after 3 or 4 weeks. And why are you doing it stupidly like that? Pathetic, right? What not to do? Eat foods that you don't like because you think it's healthy. Listen, if you don't like eating salads, don't eat salads. If you don't like fish, don't eat fish. If you don't like chicken, eat beef. It sounds simple, but people go on this health kick and eat foods that they don't normally enjoy. And you probably listen to me thinking, yeah, but how the hell do you lose weight and eat foods that you enjoy? It's really simple. I eat foods that I enjoy every single day. I fucking love the food that I eat. Beef, eggs, anyway, that's not about me. Another thing is avoiding weightlifting. You might think, well, what's weightlifting got to do with it? I've seen a lot of people, not on my program because we embed a training system into their lives. I've seen people that avoid weightlifting, right? And they go on these weight loss missions or weight gain missions, and the version of themselves that they thought that they would see at the end of these weight loss missions, they thought, oh, well, I might be a little bit toned. I might be able to see. You've got no muscle. So unless you build muscle, you're not going to have that body that you want. So it's important that when you lose weight, there is actually muscle there. So in order to get the muscle there, you need to weightlift. Do you know what I mean? Because jiu-jitsu does not build muscle. If anything, it makes your muscle less. So, this doesn't have to be much. 2 sessions per week's fine. 2 full body sessions per week. Train ridiculously hard, and you can pack on some decent size so that you've got some muscle to show for it when you get down to a less body fat percentage. Because again, what it wouldn't be, it's not going to be worth it when you lose all that fat. It's not going to be worth it when you look at yourself and just all you see is a skinnier version of yourself. You're going to be like, why did I just put myself through, 20 weeks of, doing things right when I've got no muscle or I'm not in, I look like shit. So make sure you don't neglect your weight training. Don't make it too complicated and annoying, right? It needs to slot into your life and be effortless. And what I mean by complicated is having 20 different ingredients in each meal. Like a little bit of the... If it's fucking really hard to prepare and it's really hard to consume, if it's really hard to prepare, that's the main thing, right? That's going to be annoying to prepare. When you've had a long day at work and you need to do your meals, you're just unnecessarily annoyed when there's probably about another 10 things in your life at that point in time that are going to create you stress. The last thing on your mind is adding to that stress. So don't make it complicated. Keep it as simple as possible, right? And you want to be able to, it wants to be that simple that you can have the food hot or you can have the food cold, and it won't make much of a difference because it tastes that good. Do you know what I mean? So complicated, I mean specifically too many things, too many ingredients. Too many ingredients in your meal plan makes it an absolute hassle to make these meals. And you don't want it to be a hassle. The fundamentals don't want to be annoying. Right, now let's get into the actionables, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to set out your maintenance calories for 1 week. So calorie calculator online, bang in your body weight, bang in your perceived body fat percentage. That'll predict your muscle mass and give you a number, which is an estimate. For the most part, these are actually pretty accurate, right? But you want to make sure that you do a calorie calculator that has an activity multiplier on there. Now, if you're grappling most days, then your activity multiplier might be like times that number by like 1.7 or 1.5, whatever it is. Make sure you do a calorie calculator that has your activity multiplier on there, and align your work, how busy your job is. If you're a tradesman or something like that, you might be quite busy anyway, and then you're grappling on top of that, and then account for the weightlifting as well. So with this, I always say err conservatively on this. So for example, if I considered myself really fucking active, which at the moment I am really active, I still wouldn't put myself as like a multiplier of 1.75. This will all make perfect sense to you. I'd always go 1.5 just to err on the side of conservativeness. So, for example, what you have is you'll have an activity multiplier which says, do I do hard exercise 3 to 5 times per week? I'm like, yes. But I know I probably do a little bit more than that. So just to play on the safe side, I'll just start myself off on the 1.5. So maintenance for 1 week, right? And what you'll find during this week, you'll be like, fucking hell, this is easy. And you'll lose weight because the calorie calculator isn't actually perfect. But just by you not eating shite and actually fueling your body correctly, you're going to be able to manage stress better. You're going to feel more sustained. You're going to have better energy. And you're going to have better performance on the mats and in the weight room just by making this one change. Right? Number 2. You need to build a meal plan with foods in which you enjoy. Like, it sounds so simple, but if you don't like chicken, then eat beef. Like, I've been on a meal plan for the past 19 weeks. I haven't had chicken once. I love beef. I love eggs. I'm eating beef, ground beef, twice a day. It's fucking great. So, protein source. If you like fish, eat fish. It sounds simple, but people have got this perception of chicken and rice and veg. Like, I haven't had chicken and rice and veg once in 20 weeks. So make sure you fill your meals up with the protein source in which you prefer. With carbs, make sure it's with a carb source in which you prefer. However, make sure that you're dynamically thinking about how well those carbohydrates are digested. Because let's say, for example, you had rice or potatoes, they were like your favourite, that's great, right? However, you've got emotional favourite and you've got, logical favourite, essentially. And what I mean by this is you want the food to serve you. You want the food to fuel high performance. Do you know what I mean? So, for example, I like potatoes. I fucking love them, right? And the thought of chopping up loads of potatoes and having beef and potatoes or whatever, that sounds great. However, potatoes sometimes make my stomach feel really, really bad. So I've got rid of them. And now it's just rice and oats. I love rice. I love oats. So they're in. So think more about performance, what is going to increase your performance, what digests really well. And this is going to be a learning curve for you over the first few weeks. Sometimes you might get away with pasta, but then it might get to a point where it's like, pasta's starting to give me loads of gas. I don't have gas during the day. I have really good poos. It sounds mad, but these are all basic things that I'm benefiting from now, but you might not be, and it might just be something as simple as you not making sure the carb choice that you're making, whether it's bread, pasta, these refined carbohydrates, if they're in, your digestive system's going to be it's going to be struggling a little bit. So if you can replace it with a whole food variation, i.e. potatoes, sweet potatoes, rice or oats, you're onto a winner. So something to be aware of. Fats, make sure you're getting your fats in. Obviously, be careful, do you know what I mean? Don't overdo the fats because they're very high in calories. And an example of this was the other day. My missus made a salad dressing. It was half olive oil, half balsamic vinegar, lemon and lime and pepper, right? Just something so innocent, right? And I remember I was drizzling it on my salad on a night. And I looked at the scales. I was like 30 grams of this salad dressing, and I just thought, just innocently, I'm just gonna bang it on Google. A salad dressing that is half olive oil, 30 grams. How many calories is that? That's enough to tip me well over on my calories for the day. And I was like, fuck. You don't realise with salad dressings, so be careful with fats. Eggs, whole eggs, unreal. But the salad dressings and oils can literally fuck you up, like peanut butters and stuff like that. You have to be very careful with them. Just make sure you weigh everything out. And then your veg and your fruit. So mixed berries, mint, so good, right? Because the high fibre, low calories, and you want to use that to your advantage. Same with veg as well. You want high fibre, low calorie variations. So for example, not having 5 bananas, instead, having a couple of apples potentially in the day. Not having loads of raisins or dates, which are high sugar, high calories. Having the high fibre variations that are going to slow down digestion. Take a little bit longer to digest, which means that you remain fuller for longer. So yeah, mixed berries, gold dust. Next one, weigh yourself daily and take photos weekly. This comes into the data-driven piece, because life will throw us into, getting pulled here, there and everywhere, and getting pulled into these emotional things. If we've got logic as the foundation and we only responding to, the scales and logic, it's sound. The foundation's set. But in order for us to have the data coming in to our lives to make the positive change at the right time, we need to double up this layer of data. So it's scale weight every morning after you've been to the toilet, and then photos on the weekly. Because if you're gaining muscle and you're losing fat, there might be certain weeks where you actually visibly have lost fat, but you've gained muscle, and you might not have lost weight. So then you'd be like, okay, my pitches are heading in the right direction, my scale weight has stayed the same, so I don't need to make a change this week. Which leads me on to actionable point number 3. Bit of a text heavy slide, just make myself smaller. And this is for me the most important one, right? The most important thing is when to make a change, right? Because again, life is easy when everything's going your way, right? But a true test of a man, true test of our character is what we do when things aren't going our way. And if we have a system, and this is exactly the system that I use with all of my one-on-one clients, again, if you are struggling with this stuff, jump on my program, we'll have a chat, we'll try and figure something out. Anyway, if you don't get the result you want that week, for example, a loss in 1% of your body weight per week, or a gain of 1% of your body weight per week, pull one lever. This is where most men get it wrong. They will not get the body weight, they will not lose 1 kilo that week, or they will not lose 2 pounds that week, and they will have a meltdown. They will add 10 runs into the week and eat salads or no carb. They will go into complete panic mode. the process of it is pull one lever. And going back to what I said earlier on, don't take away all your levers too early. It's so important that you leave all of these levers in your back pocket to make key adjustments at the right time. One lever only, not three. Don't take all three of them out because you didn't get the results you want. Just make one tweak. It's about cruising to the finish line, right? Strict lever order, and this goes against common opinion. First lever, add more daily cardio until you no longer get results. So let's say, for example, you were 80 kilograms and you stayed the same. Add 20 minutes of cardio to your day. It's not much. 20 minutes on a CV bike, 20 minutes on a cross trainer. Worst case scenario, 20 minutes of fast walking on a hill, or 20 minutes of really slow jogging, right? Heart rate in between 120 to 130, and then run that for the next week. And then when it goes 79, 78, 77, then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I've stopped again. I'm not losing any more weight. Awesome, cool. Don't panic. We add more steps. So add a couple of thousand more steps per day until you no longer get results. It might drop down again, 77, 76, 75. Then it's plateaued again. Then we reduce food. So notice how we're increasing output before we are reducing food. This way, we as men get to eat more daily food, and more daily food equals better performance, equals better human being to be around. You're losing weight, you're doing more cardio, so you're getting fitter, you're losing fat from the steps, and you're still eating as much as possible. So lever 1, lever 2, and lever 3, right? And then it'll get to a point where that food reduction of 10%, by the way, reduce your overall calories by 10%. I didn't write that down. And if you're on a build mission, add 10%. Very straightforward with the build side of life, just keep adding 10%. Gain the weight, add 10%, right? And then you repeat this process. So you'll go back to adding the cardio again. Go from 20 minutes of cardio to 30 minutes per day. Add some more steps. And then reduce the food. So it's always output first, then input. Hopefully that makes sense. But that's really strict. And the true art of this is being able to make a change. Because I can give you the plan, right? You can make a plan yourself. Sticking to the plan's fine, right? But when the plan isn't going accordingly to what you want, it's like, what change do I make? Because people make too many changes too quickly. And this is the system that we use in our program to get amazing results with blokes that are injured and with blokes that aren't injured. Summary, right? Mindset. That solid foundation that I talked about, that you have full control over. If you don't have full control, you're constantly a victim to somebody else's decision making. Right? Don't rush the process because it feels easy. If it's set up properly, like I've showed you in this video, it should absolutely feel easy for the most part, and I'm talking for probably 90%. The main struggles that you'll come into are social interactions, because your body, when you do this, will feel pretty good. It'll feel amazing. You'll feel sharper mentally. You'll feel better physically. You'll be getting the results that you want. Remember, this is your mission. Your mission. Nobody else's. So why are you letting them pull you left and right? Do you know what I mean? Character. What would the man you want to become eat? / how would he handle problems? Actionables. Maintenance for 1 week. Follow a meal plan you love eating. Weigh yourself daily and photos weekly. Review the data weekly. And pull a lever when you need to. Only when you need to. And keep the food high as possible. Pull the output levers first. Lever first. Cardio. Add steps. Then reduce food. That way we can keep food as high as possible, keeping high performance for as long as possible. Meaning that we can feel unbelievable while we're doing this, which is the opposite of how most people do it. Gentlemen, if you made it to the end of the video, then thank you very much for sticking around. Hopefully you appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you like this stuff. I post every single day. If you want more stuff on the nutrition side of life, like this video and I will make sure I add it to my list of things to do. But like I say, this is exactly what I do for the Blocks on Longevity program. If you are interested, the link's in the description. See you tomorrow.